All right, Ambassador, thank you so much for joining Scripps News. We really appreciate it. I want to start. It's a new administration. You're a new ambassador. Are there new priorities for the United States' role in NATO?
Yeah, I think it's back to the familiar, where the threat is for Europe. The Euro-Atlantic alliance is Russia. It's very clear that, especially those on the eastern flank, feel it very real. But at the same time, I think the priorities are obviously to make NATO a modern warfighting alliance that is focused on the threats, both the threat of Russia, but also sort of what I would call kind of hybrid threats and asymmetrical threats. And so it's preparing the alliance for the future and to make sure that kind of the underinvestment in defense that we've seen over the last, really since 1991 and since the fall of the wall, I think is fixed, and ultimately that we have an equal alliance between the United States and our 31 allies that bears the burden equally and addresses the threats, but is strong and is credible and is a deterrent and a force for peace. I just got my challenge coin created, and it very boldly says peace through strength, which I think NATO should stand for.
And when you look at that long-term vision, what are the steps that you need to accomplish in this role to achieve that?
Yeah, well, remember, I was confirmed, and then I was immediately on a plane over there, and now I'm back doing the things that I sort of avoided doing or was postponed doing. And so I think what I've been able to communicate and share is that we need to build the relationships. I need to get to know every one of the allies. I need to have a great relationship with the Secretary General, Mark Rutte, and at the same time, we're all as fast as we can to the summit at The Hague at the end of June, and so there's really no time to not roll up our sleeves and do the hard work of making sure that this alliance is built to last and is again built for deterrence and built for peace.
And what is the U.S.'s commitment to NATO at this point? Is there a scenario in which the United States pulls out from NATO?
I don't see that scenario, and I don't think Marco Rubio or Pete Hegseth or President Trump or J.D. Vance. I mean, I know there's a desire for reassurance that the Americans will be there, and I think the commitment has been articulated. I think President Trump said it the best. We are committed to the alliance as long as it works and is done right, and that's what I'm there to do, is to make sure it works and is done right. And I think I have heard nothing but a strong commitment from the other 31 allies that they hear it loud and clear, and that they are also committed to a NATO that works and is done right. And you've seen, after the November election, 4 allies have already committed to spending 5% of their GDP on defense. Another 8 have dramatically increased their defense spending, including the Germans, which changed their constitution in order to spend almost €1 trillion on defense. And spending's one thing, and that's maybe we'll get to this later, but it is not just spending; it is capabilities, and that I think is after The Hague and after everyone commits to making sure the alliance thrives and survives. Then we're going to have to roll up our sleeves then and work on things like co-production, lethality, interoperability, and sort of the important stuff that will ultimately mean that the alliance is built to last.
Is there a timeline for not only allies but the U.S. to reach that 5% defense spending threshold?
Yeah, I think Secretary Rubio said it best. It's not going to happen overnight, and it's going to be incremental, but I don't think it's going to be forever. That's one of the problems with the Wales pledge we saw, is that it was 2% someday, and you had Canadians and other allies, sort of not be serious about the 10-year pledge on that spending. And so I think it's going to be, a period of time to ramp up. But remember, our defense industrial base couldn't, get to 5% spending and deliver all of the things, and that would cause dramatic, orders to back up. And so we're going to have to work on all these things simultaneously. I think the United States Just last week I saw where, Secretary Hegseth and the president suggested $1 trillion in this next budget for defense spending. That would, put us around 4%, and I think that's a good path ultimately to get that. But, one of the things that we should never forget is, we're about $850 billion. And 5% of the U.S. would be, I think, about $1.4 trillion of our GDP, and our allies are nowhere close to that. In fact, I think of NATO's defense spending, the U.S. is about 2/3 right now, and I think the president has been pretty clear that he wants that equalized. And obviously, we need to address not just the Euro-Atlantic threats. We have, Indo-Pacific threats, and we have, high North Arctic threat. I mean, there's, the United States as the only superpower in the world right now has a lot of threats, and we need to make sure we're strong on every front.
And when we talk about the threats for NATO allies, obviously that Article 5 commitment is so important. Does the U.S.'s participation in the Article 5 commitment extend to allies who have not yet met the defense spending thresholds?
Well, I mean, again, President Trump has been pretty clear that, he expects our allies to meet their commitments, and I think you'll see by the end of June that all allies are at 2%. And if not, they're going to have a serious conversation with President Trump. I think Article 5, though, in the alliance is a commitment to the alliance, and to, an attack on one is an attack on all. But remember, you can't ignore the rest of the articles, including Article 3, which I mentioned at my confirmation hearing, which is, that it's a commitment to not only the collective defense, but also individual defense. And so you're seeing, and I want to, make sure that it's emphasized that, we're seeing a lot of allies respond. I mean, with dramatic commitments, in the Baltics, you're seeing dramatic commitments to increase defense spending. You're seeing dramatic commitments from Poland, for example, and I already mentioned the Germans and so many others. But we need to continue to see those commitments. But as I mentioned before, I think Article 5 is ironclad for those in the alliance. But we also need some of our laggard allies to step up, and they know that, and we're seeing that happen.
Okay, and obviously for allies, a major concern, as you mentioned, has been the threat of Russia and a war with Ukraine that's really on NATO's doorstep. We've heard President Trump blame 3 people for this: Russia, Joe Biden, and Zelensky. Do you agree? Who's at fault here?
Well, I share President Trump's desire for peace. I think, the more I learn about what's happening in real time on the battlefield, the more just gruesome and brutal it is. I mean, I read over the weekend an article that just talked about how just, meter by meter, and, since I'm from Iowa, we could talk about yards, but, just what a slog it is, and how many people are dying and just being slaughtered in a real World War I style battle of trench warfare, and that needs to end. Sort of assigning who is at fault and relatively, who is to blame. I think President Trump's been very clear. If he had been president in 2022, it would have never started because he is a strong leader. And now that it has gone on for over 3 years, it's time for it to stop. We need the fighting to stop, the killing to stop, and we need both sides, everybody, to step up and agree to peace. I think you've seen the Ukrainians in real time. They have agreed to a ceasefire with really no conditions. And now you're seeing the Russians dragging their feet. And I think President Trump and I know Secretary Rubio are becoming a little frustrated about, and Secretary Rubio said, we don't want to have negotiations on negotiations. We want, an agreement that ends the killing, and then we can get to an enduring peace. And I think that's the most important thing.
Do you still think Russian President Vladimir Putin is serious about wanting peace? I know Secretary Rubio said it'd be a few weeks, and you would see if he was serious. Over the weekend, we saw the attack in Sumy, though, for instance. So I guess at this point, do you think he's serious?
I have no ability to get inside the mind of Vladimir Putin, and thank goodness I don't. But it's all about actions. Words don't matter at this point in time. I think ultimately it's going to be about the actions. It's going to be about ending the killing. I think you've seen some, a little bit of success on the, energy infrastructure ceasefire. Both sides are, claiming violations, but I, recently heard Pete Hegseth, as Secretary of Defense, say that it's mostly, or it's for the most part, holding firm. And I think we're just going to have to see the actions on both sides. I think the actions of the Ukrainians, whose land it's being fought on, I think are speaking a little louder than the Russians. But these things can change, and obviously, Special Envoy Witkoff is fully engaged in that diplomacy to try to find a way to end the killing, which is the most important thing.
And the action we saw this weekend was the attack in Sumy. Do you condemn that attack?
Of course, anytime civilians are being killed. I mean, war is horrible, and it's just it just breaks your heart, and you see those images, which just are just heartbreaking, and to know that those are children and mothers and fathers and sons and daughters. I mean, it's horrible. And so, I mean, I kind of, whether the U.S. ambassador to NATO condemns an individual hit, I mean, we could be doing this all day, every day. It's really, that's the problem with war. It's why it needs to end, is because not only do soldiers die, but there are innocent people that are also dying and being wounded. And so we just need to end this, and we need peace. I think President Trump has said that he is committed to peace. He wants everyone to thrive. He wants all, people all over the world to have peace and prosperity. And, but especially he wants the American people to have that. And so we're going to have to, end this war as soon as we possibly can. That's happening between Russia and Ukraine. And then we're going, the commitment, I think, then is going to be, how do we rebuild Ukraine as an independent, free nation, as best we can under whatever agreement can be struck. But that's why President Trump is the master negotiator in this. I think he'll be able to bring this to a conclusion that, again, neither side is going to get everything they want, but that's what negotiations are. And so we're going to see, I think, in the coming, hopefully soon, that this killing will stop and we can get to a peace.
Okay. And when we talk about the United States commitment to NATO as a whole, you've talked about a long-term vision. Will the U.S. maintain its resources that are committed to the alliance at this time?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the United States is always reviewing kind of how their assets and people are deployed from a security standpoint. And that's the case, whether it's in Europe, whether it's in Asia, or anywhere around the globe. And we just have to identify what's in the American interest. And at the same time, we need to make sure that the NATO alliance is strong. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do, is make sure that our allies, our 31 other allies that are committed to security of primarily Europe, but the Euro-Atlantic area, that they're equally capable of, and we can all share the burden. And that's what this alliance has always been about. I think, now that we're refocused on what the threats are to the Euro-Atlantic alliance, I think you're just going to see, kind of those conversations ongoing. But I think those conversations include our allies in making sure that we all agree as to what's necessary.
And, we know the administration is preparing a rescission package to send over to Congress. And we've seen a memo from State Department officials that suggests eliminating funding for NATO. Have you seen this memo, and are you concerned about the message that sends to allies, as you're also trying to send that message about the U.S.'s role in it?
Yeah, I haven't seen that memo, but I've read the news reports that were breaking, last night and today. Really, and this is for sort of what I call corporate NATO, which is, which 5/6 of every dollar that's spent on sort of the NATO budget is paid for by our allies. What the president decides to do with NATO, with the UN, and other multinational alliances, I don't think that's going to impact what the United States is doing with, as it relates to security in Europe as part of the NATO alliance. It's kind of who pays for overhead is all that this is about. It has nothing to do with our overall commitment to, the strategic security of the Euro-Atlantic region.
Okay. Is there anything else I haven't asked you want to add?
No, I'm just glad to do this. It's interesting, having been, the Attorney General for a period of time and having only, one person above you, now I have a couple people that are my bosses. And so obviously, Secretary Rubio and the President of the United States are going to set policy for the United States, and my job is to make sure that the NATO is strong, that America it lives up to our commitments, but also that our allies live up to their commitments. And I think we're on a really good path based on my first 7 days in office.
All right, thank you so much, Ambassador. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.